Welcome to a Sunny Side Up Life podcast, a show for the woman who is ready to live an abundant life full of freedom and positivity. I'm Sami and I'm on a mission to help you break free from survival mode, gain financial freedom, stay motivated, and focus on what matters most. Join the movement and let's start living on the brighter side of life together. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. This week we are going to be talking about why the goal is not to get rich quick. Unfortunately, that is not the actual goal. The goal is to get rich consistently. And what actually does that mean? Okay, so you guys, there are, dare I say, millions of get-rich-quick schemes out there. There are, all of these internet type of things that kind of feel like a scam. There are people who, I don't know. Like, this is what they make their money on, advertising the get-rich-quick, how I turned my business into 6 figures in 2 minutes. I don't know, ridiculous things. And there are people who get hyped up in all of the, when these stock market crazes go on, like the GameStop thing that happened. And we love a good get rich quick scheme, don't we? But this is not always realistic. And I am all for getting lucky with, something like the GameStop stuff and how that happened. And cool if you get lucky, great. Cool if your business goes viral and it takes off like a rocket, amazing. I'm not downing that at all. But in the real world, and for the majority of us, it is a long game, okay? It is a marathon, not a sprint. And the truth about a real financial journey is for everyday normal people. And how do we get there? And this is not about thriving every single day. And I feel like this has been I feel like I've said this in the past few episodes. This is not toxic positivity, okay? This is not just put a smile on your face and everything will magically be better. This is the long game. This is real work. This is blood, sweat, and tears to get to where we ultimately want to be. And that looks like not thriving every single day. That looks like not getting lucky and getting rich overnight. It looks like long-term thinking. It looks like putting in the work. It looks like balance. It looks like having the hard conversations, doing the work. It looks like a lot of days that are hard and you want to give up. And it looks like having to stop and think about, how does this get me closer to the big picture? And that's what we're here for. We're here for the true bright side of life. Okay, you're never going to find toxic positivity here. You're never going to find, well, just put a smile on your face and you'll feel better. We're going to do the actual hard work to get to where life is actually better. Not just pretending it's better. Not just making it look good on social media. Not just driving the car so it will look good, when on the inside we know that we're in crushing debt just to have the car. No, we're building true wealth. When we have the things, it's because we can actually afford them. When we go on the trips, it's because we actually saved for them. We can actually afford them. When we live the life, It's not just so it will look good on social media. It's like, no, my life's actually that good. That's what we want. That's what we want, right? If you're agreeing with me, then you're in the right place, because that's who we are here. That's us. It's not pretending like it's not hard at all. And we do have the bad spells, okay? We do have the downturns. Because I've talked about this before, and I love this analogy. It is a Mark Nepo analogy, and he's an amazing author. And he talked about this in one of his books. All of his stories run together in my head, so I apologize that I don't know the exact time he said this, but I remember this metaphor that literally changed my life and how I thought about my mental health journey. And I heard him say this during probably the darkest season of my depression, when I was like really, really struggling, when I finally went and got medication, when I finally signed up for therapy. I mean, I was past the point of, I'm just going to positively think my way out of this. Like, it was past that point. It was, okay, I need professional help. And no shame if you've been there, because that's me. Like, this is where we are. And we can live on the bright side, the sunny side of life. We can do all the things. We can find the good in life and still realize that, hey, there are real mental health issues. There are real times that our debt is crushing us. And we can work through that. And so what this metaphor is he said that we never expect the ocean to just consistently have ups or consistently have downs. It has to be both. The water has to ebb and flow. The waves have to rise and fall. Or it wouldn't be an ocean. Like, it has to be both. It has to be the rise and the fall. I've also heard Laura Casey say it has to be the winter and the spring and the summer and the fall. It has to be all of those. None of them work without the others. And these metaphors changed how I thought long-term about my mental health and how I thought long-term about my financial journey and every other journey that I'm on. It's okay if there are rises and falls. It's okay if you have a terrible mental health week. I mean, it sucks, but it's going to be okay in the long run, because we're allowed to have the dark days. We have to have the dark days, or there would be no such thing as the bright days. If we didn't have the bad times, there would be no such thing as the good times. They'd just be times. There would be no difference. Do you see what I mean? And that is how we have to think of our long-term journey with our mental health, our money, our relationships, whatever goals you're working on. Probably all of them, because hey, like, it's an all-encompassing life journey that we're on here. It's not about being at a plateau of, okay, here we go, flat. There's no, like, we talk a lot about how the financial journey feels like, oh, I take a step forward, so I take a step back, and then it ends up to be the 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and you feel like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get there? That's real life, guys. That is real life. It is the ebb and flow. It is the rise and fall. It is the winter and the spring, and it has to be both. So what does that mean in terms of our money? We don't want the get rich quick scheme, because that is like saying that it's always spring. And we know that that's not how nature works. That's not how it works. That's not how life works. We want the progress. We want true growth. We want the true growth. We want the balance. We can't be thriving every single day, because we wouldn't learn any lessons from that, right? We don't want it to be consistently downward because that sucks. That's not what life is about. But at the same time, we don't want it to be consistently up because we're not learning. We're not resting. We're not making mistakes and learning and growing from them. It has to be all of it. It has to be all of it. And I think a lot that when we think about this thriving every day, consistently getting rich, never making any mistakes, we're not thinking big vision, okay? And so when I think big vision with my money, I don't think, okay, how am I going to get more spending money for this week? That's not really what I'm worried about necessarily. I'm worried about how will this grow my net worth? How can we think bigger? Because we're here on this life journey. We're here on this big vision journey. How will this grow my net worth? And I recently talked about this in the different streams of income episode, where it's such small-minded thinking to think that your earned income is your only stream of income. And a lot of people think, well, your retirement accounts, the growth in your retirement accounts shouldn't count as a stream of income because you're not actually taking that money out yet. It does count because my goal is to grow my net worth. My goal is to grow all of it, not just the spending money that's in my pocket right now. We're thinking big term. We're thinking big term here. We're thinking long game. Has anyone ever heard the quote, "The days are long, but the years are short"? This quote actually is supposed to be in reference to motherhood. If you've ever had a toddler or a newborn, you know this quote, and that's how it feels. Okay, and let's take that and relate that into terms with our financial journey. And it feels like the days are long. Okay, and it feels like when we're in the thick of it, you feel like every decision is like, okay, this is going to make or break. Like I can't go $5 over on my grocery budget. You know, oh my gosh, I can't go through the drive-thru today because I've already spent my restaurant budget. And it feels sometimes like you are walking in quicksand and like the days are so long. I have these 5-year goals. How am I ever going to get there? How am I ever going to make progress on my debt? How am I ever going to save that money? Cash flow a vehicle, is she crazy? How am I even going to ever get out from underneath my student loans or my credit card debt? Because when you're in the thick of it, the days feel really long. But the beautiful thing is that when you look back, just like with raising kids or anything else, it feels like it went so fast. And so we have to zoom out. We have to zoom out and remember that when we get there, it's going to feel like the years were actually really short. And we have to think about our goals in the bigger version of how will this affect my net worth? Where will I be at the end of the year? Where will I be in 5 years? Where will I be in 10 years? And then we take that kind of thinking and we relate it to, yeah, I'm struggling now, but I'm going to remember that this is just the ebb. It's not the flow. And when I look back, I will feel like I made progress. I promise you. And it has to be both. It has to be both. Sorry, quick pause for a coffee break. But you guys, I hope that makes sense to you. I feel like the message was kind of all over the place, but the ultimate goal here is that I want you to remember that there's not really a quick fix. Okay? It is slow and steady progress. It is supposed to be the ups and downs. It's supposed to be the ebb and flow. It is normal if it feels like the days are long. Okay? It is normal for you to have the times where you feel like it's just too hard. It is normal for you to have the downturns. It's normal for it to take a while. Okay? And that's okay. And if you feel like that, you're not alone. But I want you to try to zoom out. Try to think about it big picture. Try to think about it long term. Like, we're going to get there. We are. We're going to make progress. And even when there are the down times, there will be the up times. Even when it is winter, it will be spring again. And even though that the days feel long, when we look back, the years will feel short. You will get to look back and think, wow, I'm so glad I started when I did. I'm so glad that I remembered that this was a marathon, not a sprint. I'm so glad that I got back up even after I fell down. Okay? So, I just wanted to pass that message of encouragement along to you. I hope that it helps you wherever you are on your journey. I hope that it reminds you that you're not alone in all the things that you're feeling, that it's completely normal, and that I'm here for you. I see you, I support you, and I am cheering for you every step of the way. So that is all for me today, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out for another episode of a Sunny Side Up Life podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend because you never know who needs to hear this message. If you haven't already, please leave a review and subscribe. Reviews and subscribers are what help the podcast grow and what help new ladies find our community. And again, thanks for hitting play on this episode and for investing some time in yourself today. Remember that I'm always here to support you and I'm always cheering you on along the way. Don't forget that everything that we mentioned in this episode will be linked in the show notes. All right, that's all for me this week. Bye, guys.